Good morning, YouTube. I thought I'd shoot a little bit or a little video about I don't know, about estate pipes and eBay and buying off eBay and share a couple of the pipes with you guys. Maybe this will be helpful for some. Some of you guys, it's probably a lot of you guys that already know this, but on eBay, I don't spend a lot of money for pipes, and there's a lot of reasons for it because sight unseen. Spending a lot of money on pipes, it just, to me, seems silly. So I don't spend a lot of them. So I'm going to share a couple pipes with you that were eBay finds, and share a little bit about if someone is getting into estate pipes, decide to make that leap from collecting, or you do modified cobs and got into some restorations, which I have gotten into over this last year. I really started doing more, more restorations. Still do the cob modifying too, as well. But the first one we'll look at here this is a no-name pipe. Well, it's got a name, but it really doesn't have. I couldn't find any information on it about it. So, if you're getting into doing pipe restoration, some of these finds with the no-name pipes are just excellent to start with because they're really inexpensive, and you're not, if you do make mistakes, which you might along the way, you're not wrecking a nice Peterson or something or whatever it is you'd be collecting. This pipe, I want to say it was like $3 shipped. I couldn't really find out a whole lot of information about it. It says it's either Woodmere or Woodmere Deluxe. But the story with this pipe is that when I got it, when I looked at the pictures, the bowl and shank and everything were all black. You could kind of still make out the maker's mark on there, insignia, whatever that would be. So I put a bid on it. This one I've had for quite a long time, and it was kind of neat looking. And what you got to understand is a lot of these people will put up, you're going to find vintage in front of everything. If you go through on eBay, almost all of them are going to say vintage, da da da. And, and someone had written vintage on there, which, I couldn't find any information about the pipe, and I don't think they exactly would know if it's vintage because they said themselves they know nothing about pipes. Which you have to watch out for some of these people that say, I know nothing about pipes, but all they sell on eBay is pipes, which is kind of strange. But I digress. So I got this pipe from somebody supposedly found in an estate sale. They did not sell a lot of pipes, but I think the danger in some of these people is they will try to do things to make them look better. So, and they have that disclaimer, I don't know a lot about pipes, or as is. So there's really nothing you can do if you kind of get burnt by one of these deals. But luckily, like I said, no name pipe. So I'm not going to sweat the $3 or whatever it was to get shipped here. But anyways, this was all black, which I knew from the pictures. And I got it. What I know is all of it was really black except for around here. But it wasn't like an even, uniform thing. It was kind of... And it was really thick. And when I got it, the bowl was all black too. And so I started doing some, closer inspections on it. And here someone had what I thought had just taken the whole bowl. Someone started doing, restoring it. And because the bowl is 100% smooth. It had been smoked, I could tell. But it was 100% smooth. And it was just black. Same as the paint on the outside. And upon further inspection, I think it was nail polish. Someone took a black nail polish and brushed the whole thing, or dumped it in something like nail polish, or some really thick dye or paint that was glossy. But I think they did it. They taped this off for some reason, so you could see where the tape line was. So I wasn't too happy about that. I tried to do a lot of bowl work because I don't want to smoke that paint. So I did a lot of time reaming, and I never really got it all out, unfortunately. So I got to the point where I'm just going to give this an alcohol bath, and took the stem off and submerged it. I did do some sanding to try to get some of it off. Did some, and this was just some alcohol and kept wiping it to get this off around here because I didn't really want to sand into the maker mark. But did a lot of sanding on the bowl to see how bad it would be to come off, and it was really, really tough. So I threw it in an alcohol bath, and I noticed some of it was lightening up, which I thought was lightening up. But what it was this. It was a really soft fill. Somewhere along the line, somebody put some kind of really soft wood fill in there. And I stopped picking at it because it almost goes all the way to the bowl. And that's what started coming out. So essentially this is, I wasn't happy about that, but like I said, it was a couple bucks. So, I mean, essentially it's a useless pipe now, maybe for decoration or something. So I think somebody took some soft wood fill, put it in there, and then just painted the whole thing black with something, or dunked it in paint. So that's unfortunate. I do have a stem out of it, so I can use that maybe along lines for something else. So that's just kind of one horror story. You saw this pipe in the last video, and what this is pre-72K Woody. It's got the model number 05 3-hole stinger. And the reason I kind of bring these up is if you're going to start doing restorations, the no-name pipes are great, but also there's some, like you can probably get some gray bowls really cheap. Another one is yellow bowls. I have quite a few yellow bowls, and that was just to go through and really just kind of start honing my skill a little bit more. The nice thing about those is they have a history, so you can research some of this stuff. So when something doesn't look right on, like a K Woody or a yellow bowl or a gray bowl or even a Medico, I guess, if you do your research, which is key, that's what I would strongly urge, is do your research on a lot of these. Like this one, it's a no-name pipe. I have no idea to tell what's normal on it. But if you're going to start collecting maybe, the lower end ones, like the gray bowls or the yellow bowls or Medicos, you can find some of those, a lot of those relatively cheap. But I guess along with the restoration, half the fun is doing the research on them, at least for me, in the history. But I want to start getting into K Woodies. So I was really, again, I don't pay a lot for these, so this one was another like $4 ship, and there was a lot of cake in it, a lot. I had a hard time getting this in there, and this is one of those T-hen reamers, and I had to start here and could barely get that in. That's how much cake was on there. I did do some cleaning up of the bowl a little bit, cleaned up the shank quite a bit. I still have some work there to do and some of the bowl, but the thing that concerned me when I got this, and this is true too if you are going to look at some antique stores, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can see a real darkening on a bowl. That was kind of concerning, and that was not in the pictures. I did have to do some topping. I got a little bit left to get rid of that burning. But why? Because that might be signs of a burnout. And if I got this reamed, kind of sanded it more just to make sure it is indeed cracked. And right through here, it's got a nice little crack. It's got a couple over here too. So that was kind of disheartening, but I decided to keep going with this. And the reason for that is because, again, just it gives you something. I don't have to worry about messing this up, but I do have some topping left to do on this. And I got I have a stem that I can always use for another K Woody. I do have another. This is a super grain. I do have another super grain coming because I won 2 auctions. Didn't expect to win either of them for the little bit I put in on them. But the stem was in great shape. I really didn't do. I did do a little of work on it, but for the most part, there really isn't a whole lot of teeth chatter. I got a lot of final buffing to do on the shank yet, and some little work to do around the button. But the nice part about, like I said, and I will encourage anybody, the no-name pipes are great if you can get them for a deal. But if you collect one of the less sought-after ones, like not the Petersons or Dunhills or all that stuff, but if you're going to get into it and you go after like yellow bowls, gray bows, Medicos, if they're reasonable. I mean, prices are all over the place on eBay for no rhyme or reason sometimes. If something is wrong, you'd be able to know if you did your research. And I guess that's really what I'm trying to explain in a roundabout way with some of this, is if you're getting into it, like I said, if you find a screaming deal, by all means. I mean, I do have some other no-name pipes too, and this is really kind of one of the first issues I've had with it, one of them, but I would suggest starting with maybe a Gravo or a Medico or a Yellow Bull, fairly inexpensive. Some of the prices for some of these K-Woodies do start to get up there, depending upon the year and stuff, and you do your research on that, and you'll be able to find out, which I said for me is half the fun. I like researching pipe making companies. Another quick tip I did not post in my last video is, this is on a t-shirt, and if you're going to get into restoration and you go to your secondhand stores and maybe they don't have pipes, like a couple around here, you'll notice they'll have bags, like Walmart plastic bags or grocery store bags, full of shirts and other things, and they sell them for like 50 cents. They make great rags for working on pipes. I mean, after you use this, it's a nice soft cotton. Some of these are, some are poly blends, but just toss them away after you're done. So I guess if that's helpful to somebody, that's great. But I might do a restore along video, I guess, on the next super grain that hopefully will show up today. Maybe I'll do one as I go along. We'll see. Otherwise, you guys have a great week.